The most important thing that I learned about dating is to trust the obsession. Let me explain. Last night I went out on a date with a guy that I had been matching on an online dating app for quite some time, and this guy always stood out to me. Now, I can't explain to you why he stood out. It wasn't like he was 100% physically my type and the conversation was great, but for some reason, I felt that little thing in me putting a lot of hope in that connection. Now, initially, I defaulted to my old programming and I was like, oh my God, maybe I keep seeing this guy because there's something more that's supposed to happen. But then I took a moment and got out of my head and started paying attention to what I was feeling in my body. So when I finally met up with this guy, I was sitting in the car, and before I even went into the restaurant, I immediately started feeling like this overwhelming feeling of just not wanting to go. I just started feeling this strong resistance in my body. So after I parked my car, I considered canceling, but then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna show up anyway. And as I sat there on the date across from this guy who looked just like his profile, he was nice enough, we had great conversation, but I started noticing things that I ordinarily would not have noticed had I not done the inner work. I started paying attention to the fact that even though the conversation was great, he wasn't asking much about me. He was talking about himself. I would notice that he'd had no problem with cutting me off to continue his point of view. I also noticed how he had no problem talking about the relationships that he had and sex, on the first date. Some could say a lot of his conversation was a red flag, which honestly, if you are invested in a connection, you're not even looking for red flags. But I noticed in that moment that the resistance that I was feeling or the obsession that I had before I even got to the date, it had nothing to do with him being the one or there's supposed to be something. It was my nervous system recognizing inconsistency. And to solidify what I thought was inconsistency, there were certain questions, a certain line of questioning that I give to validate what it is that I'm feeling. So yeah, I'm gonna double down with when you are dating, the one thing that you need to do is trust the obsession. The obsession is just the obsession. We are the ones that place meaning to it. So you can place the meaning of that obsession being they're the perfect person for you, or you can place that obsession on I am trying to recreate the emotional wounds of my childhood to try to get it correct with this person. They are not good for me, and turn the other way. And as nice as he was, no, he will not be hearing from me again.